everyone. How are you all? My name is Bhumika Chauhan. Welcome back to our channel. And in today's video, we are going to study a very interesting story. When you hear this name or when you read this name, it's a beautiful story by Ruskin Bond. And when you hear the title, like The Thief's Story, you may expect a story about crime or about stealing or about punishment or something. But this story is actually much more than that. So I wish and I hope that you all at the end of this class would relate to the main character. And it's a 15-year-old boy whose life began to change when he met Anil, a very kind and a very trusting young man. Okay, so Anil's kindness, trust, willingness basically to educate him gradually changes the thinking of our main character, that is Hari Singh, in this chapter. So there is this great message in this chapter about goodness, about trust, about empathy, sympathy and everything. So let's get started. The story, Thief. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. So over here, there is this boy who is the narrator of the story. Okay, so the story here begins with a direct narration. We call it direct narration or a direct statement that I was still a thief. I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. I was still a thief, he's saying. Right? So the narrator himself over here is telling us the story. So we call it first person narration. Okay, so he openly admits here that he was a thief and he was, I guess, 15 years old. But he is an experienced thief. Right? He's saying. So he's very experienced in stealing. So a fairly successful hand means that he was quite skilled at his work, right? And in this case, it is stealing. So have you noticed something important? That the narrator doesn't introduce himself as an innocent boy who accidentally did something wrong. No, he clearly tells us in the starting that stealing was his profession. And then what happens? Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind and simple enough for my purpose. So, here the thief is approaching Anil because he wants friendship, and he already has a plan in his mind that he has to find someone who is very kind and who is very innocent so that he can easily rob that person. Now there is this introduction of Anil. Anil is a 25-year-old man, tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing. What is the meaning of easygoing? Easygoing, that means if you are a thief, you always search or you always look for a person who is not that clever, right? So the thief feels over here that Anil looks easygoing, kind and simple, right? Enough for my purpose. He's saying for my purpose. Why is the thief over here interested in these qualities? That he's innocent, he's easygoing, because he's looking for an easy target, an easy person to steal from, an easy person to rob, right? So for my purpose is important, right? These words, for my purpose, these words are important. His purpose over here is to gain Anil's trust, to gain Anil's confidence and eventually steal from him. So the thief says that Anil is the best person, right, for my purpose, and he decides that he can become friends with Anil. And then I had not had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. Right? He wants to take Anil into his confidence. Right? And you look a bit of wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. What he is doing here, whenever we say good things about people, everyone likes being praised, right? Everyone likes flattery, right? If someone is saying you're looking beautiful, if someone says that you're a very nice person, you're very kind, you look like a wrestler, right? So a bit of a wrestler yourself. All these things over here that our Hari Singh is saying, he knows that praising someone, right? Praising someone is an easy way to basically start a conversation, or to start a friendship. And he's not genuinely praising Anil at all. He's using sugar-coated words to get close to him, right? So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. So when he says, so do you, which put me off for a moment because I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? So here the narrator himself tells us that why he praised Anil, why he praised this person he wants to rob or steal from. Why? Because he wants to be friends with that guy, right? So he's not only a thief, he's clever and he's manipulative. He understands human psychology, right? So over here, Anil also replies, Anil's reply also surprises, right? So do you, he says. So Anil says, you also look like a wrestler. If I look like a wrestler, then you also look like a wrestler. So thief becomes uncomfortable because he is actually very thin. So he probably expected Anil to accept his compliment, not return it. Are you guys getting my point? Right? Then he says that I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? So what he's doing here, he lies again. That now he's creating an image of himself that is not completely true at all. So right from the beginning, we can clearly see that over here, the thief is an experienced and a clever and a confident and a dishonest person, right? Hari Singh, I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. Now what happened? Anil asks, himself, Anil asks him a simple question that what is your name? And after that, I lied. So our thief lies over here. He says his name is Hari Singh. So narrator is telling us that he keep on, changing his name. He keeps changing his name because he wanted to stay ahead of the police and obviously of the former employers. So this tells us that stealing was not something he had done only once. He had worked for different people before and he had probably stolen from them as well. So changing his name helped him basically escape from being identified. Right? So before Anil even knows him properly, the thief had already lied about his identity that he is Hari Singh, which is not his real name. Right? After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting. Now he's trying to make a conversation. Right? He's trying to start a conversation. He's trying to, take Anil in his confidence. Right? So thief explains then that I have to change my name again and again, that basically helped me remain safe from the police and from former employers and everything, right? So he had worked for different people before, right? So he starts talking about all these wrestlers, well-oiled wrestlers, he says. That means wrestlers had applied oil to their bodies, which was common before wrestling. right? And they were all grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. Right, grunting means making sounds like short and rough sounds, something like that, right? Because of the physical effort when you make a sound, that is basically grunting. So Anil is interested in wrestling match, but the thief has nothing meaningful over here to contribute because he doesn't really know anything about wrestling. Yes, he has no idea about wrestling. He's just trying to be friends with Anil. That's it. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. Now what is happening? The thief doesn't know what to say, right? Because obviously the conversation has moved to wrestling, and then Anil walks away. But over here, our thief follows him casually. He's saying, I followed casually. So he doesn't want Anil to think that he's deliberately following him. He wants to appear relaxed and harmless, right? And then he says hello again. So this is important. Why? Because Anil is not suspicious of him right now, right? He's willing to talk to him. Right, I gave him my most appealing smile. So the thief, over here, the thief sees this as an opportunity to continue basically developing a relationship with Anil. Right, now he's smiling. I think this is the fake smile, most appealing smile. So thief uses his most appealing smile. He knows how to make himself look harmless and attractive. Right. So your face tells everything, right? I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. So then he directly asks Anil for work, that I want to work for you. And Anil says that I can't pay you. So this is something unexpected, right? The thief over here was not expecting this, that he would say that I can't pay you. Right? If you want to work for me, but I do not have the money to pay you. So this surprises the thief because he thought that he has misjudged the person. So he has assumed like Anil had money, but he did not. Right? Yes. I thought that over for a minute, perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, can you feed me? So remember one thing. The thief had already here judged Anil by his appearance, right? He thought Anil looked like someone who would be, easy to steal from. That was the first thought that came to his mind. Right now, he began to realize that perhaps he has misjudged the man. That I think that's a very big mistake that I did. He doesn't have money, and now what should I do, right? So I thought that over for a minute, that he's saying I can't pay you. So I give it a second thought, and perhaps I had misjudged my man, that I think, oh no, what did I do, and what should I do now, right? That he may, he's thinking that he may have formed the wrong opinion about Anil, and now what will he do? I asked, can you feed me? Again, this is something unexpected, right? He had expected Anil to have money, but Anil says that he cannot pay him. Still, our thief does not give up, right? He does not give up. He says that, can you feed me? So he changes over here. Can you clearly see that he is changing his strategy, right? He changes his strategy. He says, if you can't pay me, can you feed me? Can you feed me? So can you think of the mindset? Are you able to understand the mindset of the thief over here? Are you able to understand that? Like, instead of asking for money, he's saying, can you feed me? So what strategy over here he is trying to use? Comment in the comment section. This thing shows that how quickly the thief can adapt to a situation, right? So this was completely out of syllabus. He's looking for any possible way here to get close to Anil. That's it. That is the main motive. Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. Then he asks, can you cook? So he says that yes, I can cook, and I lied again. Because he wants to get close to Anil. That is the main reason. He is saying yes to everything. He doesn't know how to cook, but he's saying yes, I know how to cook. Right? So maybe I can feed you. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. So then Anil replies that yes, if you can cook, then I can feed you. So this shows that Anil is showing interest in the thief, and he is a trusting person. Like, he trusts people very easily. Right? Later in the story, we will see that he doesn't know how to cook. So this is the second important lie in the story. First, he lied about his name. Then he lies about his cooking skills. Right? He took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. So Anil over here, however, is not at all suspicious. He simply says that if the boy can cook, he can provide with food. Right? He says that. So Anil gives the thief an opportunity even though the thief has not been honest with him. So this is the beginning of the relationship between the thief and Anil. Right? Yes. So Hari Singh and Anil are now friends here. Right? He took me to his room over the Jamna tea shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. Okay? But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around smiling in my most appealing way and he could not help laughing. So, now Anil takes the boy to his room. Right? He takes the boy to his room, which is situated above the Jamna sweet shop, obviously. And he even gives him a place in the balcony that you can sleep in the balcony. Okay? Remember, this boy over here, right, just met Hari Singh, Anil. Right? He just met Hari Singh, and he doesn't know his real name, his background story or his history or anything. He has no idea about this person, Hari Singh. And he took this person to his home. He still gives him food, he still gives him shelter, which is a very strange thing these days. Yes or no? Then narrator over here, our thief, prepares his first meal and that was terrible because I cooked that night must have been terrible. And the food was so terrible that Anil was not able to eat. So he clearly, lied about his cooking ability. The meal was terrible. They are saying that the meal was terrible. Right? Stray dog means yes, and gave it to stray dogs and told me to be off, but I just hung around smiling in my most appealing way. Okay, so he is trying to gain confidence of Anil. So the food is so bad that Anil gives it to a stray dog and then he tells the thief to basically told me to be off. That he told the thief to leave, but the thief doesn't leave. Instead, he stays there, right? But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he could not help laughing. So he did not go, he did not leave, and he stays there and gives Anil his most attractive, innocent looking smile. Maybe he made that puppy face. So this is about this is almost humorous because the thief is trying to use his charm once again, and Anil over here starts laughing, right? And this moment between Anil and Hari Singh is important, right? Because Anil does not react with anger or cruelty, right? He sees the boy's foolishness and responds with kindness and responds with humor, right? So Anil is a very gentle, very kind sort of person. Later, he patted me on the head and said, never mind, he would teach me to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So see, we can clearly see that Anil is a very nice guy. He trusts people. So this is one of the most important moments in the story. This moment is really very important. Instead of throwing the boy out, Anil forgives him. Number one, he pats on his head, right, and said, never mind. And says, and he says that he will teach him how to cook, right? But Anil here does something even more important. You can clearly see he teaches him how to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So Anil here is not merely giving him food, but shelter. Food and shelter is not the only thing. He's trying to basically give him education because he knows the importance of education. And education is going to become the turning point in this story. Right? Let's see what happens next. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. So Hari Singh is also aware of this thing that education is really very important, and once I could write like an educated man. So thief over here feels grateful. He is thankful, right? And he is also very interested, right? And this is an important change. So at the beginning, he saw Anil only as, I think, a possible victim. But eventually, he is beginning to value what Anil is doing for him. He's providing him food, he's providing him shelter, and now education. He understands the importance of education, what opportunities education can give him. He understands all these things. So he thinks that if he can write whole sentences, if he can add numbers, there will be no limit to what I could achieve. So in other words, we can clearly see he begins to imagine a life beyond stealing, right? And this is why education is such an important theme in this story. Anil here doesn't simply give him money, right? He gives him something much more valuable, that is the ability to develop or to build his own future. Yes or no, everyone? Chaliye. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. See what he is doing. He is still stealing, right? Anil is still trusting Hari Singh and Hari Singh is still stealing because I think it's in his nature. Right? So over here, thief now starts doing all these household chores or household work for Anil. And he works, he makes tea, I guess, in the morning, then would take time buying the day's supplies needed for the day. So all the groceries, right? But even here he steals. Even here the Hari Singh is dishonest. Right? He deliberately takes his time while shopping and manages to basically make around ₹1 or some extra profit. Right? So although he is beginning to change, he has not completely changed yet. Right? His old habits are still present. And that's very difficult to get rid of. Right? Yes. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Now, Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. Right, I think Anil knows that he's making extra money, but Anil does not stop him over here. Right, again, this shows Anil's trust, this shows Anil's generosity. Right, then we get this expression that fits and starts. So it means that something that happens irregularly or on or off, rather than he doesn't have a continuous or a regular income. Right, he doesn't have a regular salary or basically a stable job. He earns money whenever he gets work. So that means that's like fits and starts. He kept worrying about his next check because of this irregular job or because of this unstable income, right? Still he helps Hari Singh. See, that's why he said that I can't pay you, because he doesn't have any like stable or regular income. So Anil, we can clearly see Anil's financial life is quite like unstable. Sometimes he borrows money and at the other time he lends money. So he's a very good human being. He worries about he keeps on worrying about his next check, right? That when will my next check come? But once he receives it, he doesn't save it carefully. He would go out and celebrate. So he goes out and celebrate with his friends. This tells us that Anil is a carefree person and doesn't live a very organized financial life. Right, and thief observes all these things very carefully. Queer means a strange way to make a living. So it seems he wrote for magazines. So he's a writer basically, right? Yes, Anil here is a writer. So the thief learns that Anil is a writer and he writes for magazines. That is a queer way to make a living. Queer means that is a strange way to make money, obviously, right? One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month. This is very important, right? Okay, why does this thief find it strange? That why is it a strange way of making money? Because stealing is the only profession he really knows, right? He cannot understand that someone can earn money simply by writing, right? Then one evening Anil comes home with some money, a bundle of money, right? And he says that he has sold a book to a publisher and that's why he got this money. So this is the moment when the thief sees a real opportunity, right? That, oh, so these old habits keep coming back, right? You can't get rid of these habits very easily, and that's the truth, right? And at night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. So I think something is going to happen. I had been working for Anil for almost a month. Apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. So Anil puts the money under his mattress and the thief notices this very carefully, right? So now what will happen? Remember one thing. Narrator has been working for Anil for almost a month. He clearly mentioned this thing. So during that moment, he has not committed a major thief. He has only cheated Anil slightly while shopping all these groceries and everything. So in my line of work, he's saying that that's very humorous. So although he has been living honestly for almost a month, he still thinks of himself as a professional thief, right? He still thinks of himself as a professional thief. Yes. So I had done anything in my life. I had not done anything in my line of work. Line of work is stealing. I had every opportunity of doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. So now the thief says that he had every opportunity to steal and Anil gave him the key also, right? This means that the boy could enter and he could leave the room wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. So think about this carefully. Anil has known him for only about a month. He doesn't know his real name. He doesn't know that he is a thief. Yet he trusts him enough that he gave him a key. And this is why Anil is described in this chapter as such a trusting person. The most trusting person I had ever met. Right? And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man, yes, because he can afford to be robbed. This is very important, very, very, very important part of the chapter. They ask question, right, from this part. Because he can afford to be robbed, but it is difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So thief says that this is the most trusting person he has ever met, right? And surprisingly, the trust makes Anil difficult to rob. Why? This is some unusual logic. He says that a greedy person or a greedy man is easy to rob because a greedy person can afford the loss. If a rich or a greedy man, right, loses some money, it may not affect the life very much. But Anil here is different, right? And I think the thief has developed a kind of emotional attachment to him, right? And he says that it is very difficult to rob such type of people because they don't show any type of reaction. Sometimes they don't even realize that they have been robbed. That takes away all the pleasure. If I am hitting you and you're laughing at me, that will eventually take away all the pleasure of hitting, right? Because I want to hit you because I want to hurt you. If I'm trying to hurt you and I am not able to do that, then I will lose all the pleasure of hurting you, right? Now there will be an interesting observation, right? And this is the interesting observation because sometimes the man doesn't even notice that he have been robbed, and this removes all the pleasure from stealing, right? So this tells us about the character of Hari Singh. He doesn't think of stealing only as a way to get money. He also thinks about the challenges involved in it, right? For him, a good theft requires skill, right? And Anil's, complete trust over here makes the situation emotionally, I think, difficult for him. Yes? Yes or no? Yes. Well, it's time I did some real work. Oh, real work. I told myself I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he will only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept to the bed. Oh my God. So for him, stealing is his old profession and he has not stolen anything, right? Like anything important for nearly a month. So he says that he is out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he will only waste it. Now, he is trying to give himself another excuse that he thinks that if he doesn't steal Anil's money, Anil will simply waste it on his friends. So this is self-justification, right? That I am not doing the wrong thing. I am doing the right thing. Thief knows over here that stealing is wrong, but he is he creates reason to himself that his action is acceptable. He is justifying himself, right? He is justifying his actions basically. And he says that after all, he doesn't pay me. Then he gives one more excuse that Anil doesn't even pay me. So this is my right? But Anil does give him food. Anil gave him shelter. Anil gave him education. But the thief temporarily ignores all these benefits. Right? He is here focusing on a single fact that he doesn't even pay me, that he requires a regular salary. Right? Then the actual theft over here begins. Anil is sleeping and there is this description of moonlight falling on the, this is a tense atmosphere. Right? It's a cinematic sort of thing. Right? I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30. So he's doing all these calculations that if I took the money, I can catch the 10:30 and I can clearly easily escape. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept to the bed. So he, he is now going towards Anil to basically steal that money over there under the mattress. Right? So now he's making a final plan. He knows exactly what he will do after stealing. Right? What he's going to do after stealing. Yes. Okay. Great. Right? So this shows that this theft here is not impulsive. It's a planned theft. Right? He has thought about his escape. That clearly shows that this is not like an impulsive decision. Right? So he moves very quietly towards Anil. That I could catch slipping out of the blanket. I crept to the bed. Crept shows that he is moving very slowly and very carefully so that Anil doesn't wake up. Right? Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Oh, that's beautiful. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out with a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I started and quickly crawled out of the room. So this is completely dramatic. Now the thief basically looks at Anil's face while Anil was sleeping and he says that I had more marks on my face. So his face is clear and his face is unlined, right? Anil's face. That because he was a carefree person. He doesn't have marks or lines that suggest worry or stress or any hardship. And then he compares his face with like the thief compares Anil's face with his own face. Right? So he has more marks and so many scars, and this comparison here is symbolic, bacha. Why? Anil over here represents a very good and honest nature because of that innocent face, and thief's scar represents the difficult and dishonest life he has lived. So the thief is beginning to understand, although he is younger than Anil, his life has made him emotionally older and harder, right? Because of all these challenges in his life, he's like that. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I startled and quickly crawled out of the room. So the thief finally finds the money, and then I drew them out without a sound. He pulls it out like silently, very silently. And Anil sighed in his sleep, and sighed as in, maybe he turned, towards the thief. Right? He moves in his sleep and he turns towards the thief here, And I was startled, and our thief was like frightened, and he suddenly got shocked. He quickly leaves the room here. That I quickly crawled out of the room. Right? So he was so close. He could have he was he was very nervous at this point, and his mind is, I think, not completely at peace right now. Right? When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist. Held there by string of my pajamas, I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. So once he was, once outside, the thief started running, and he has that money tied at his waist using the, string of the pajama, right? So then he here slows down, right, and counts the money. So there were like 600 rupees in 50s. So the thief, for a thief, this is a very large amount of money. Right? And he becomes excited about what he can do with it, what he can do with all this money. So he said that he can live like oil-rich Arab for a week or two. And then he reached the station. He did not stop at the ticket office because he did not have that habit, right, of buying the ticket. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight. So he quickly ran towards the platform, and the Lucknow Express was just moving out. So thief here basically exaggerates like his happiness, that he can live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. He's imagining a very luxurious life, right? Like when we receive our salary on first, we also feel like an oil-rich Arab. Then he reaches the railway station, and he basically doesn't buy the ticket, and he says that I had never bought a ticket in my life. This again reminds us that stealing and dishonest behavior have been a part of Anil's life, right? That was like normal for him. And then he directly, he runs directly towards the platform, and the Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. Oh, this was the turning point. Why he was not able to get on the train? Why? Can you tell me the reason? This is the turning point in the story, that he did not catch the Lucknow Express. He had planned everything. He was like, if I steal the money right now, I can catch the 10:30 p.m. Lucknow Express. Why did he not catch that? Tell me. Train is leaving here. It is still moving slowly. So the thief could easily jump into like one of the carriages, but he did not do that. He hesitates. Why? And he says that I cannot explain this thing, that why is this hesitation right now at this point of time? Now you have to think about it very carefully. A few minutes earlier, he was thinking all about all these luxurious things and about this luxurious life. Right? He had money, he had planned the train journey, and when the actual opportunity comes, there was something inside him stops him. What was that? What was that thing? Why did he stop? Right? I think the relationship with Anil and the possibility of education are already becoming more important to him than the stolen money he has at this point of time. Right? He is also realizing the importance of education, and he is so much connected, because nobody in his entire life has ever shown any kind of sympathy, any kind of trust towards this child. He's only a 15-year-old boy, right? And he has never felt this feeling like somebody can trust he has never felt safe, like someone is doing something for him, right? Yes. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone in the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. He has the money in the pocket, but he, I think over here, lost the security and companionship he had with Anil. That's why he hesitated. He had no other guy. He has nowhere to go. I had no friends because he used to believe that friends were more trouble than help. Why friends are more trouble than help for Hari Singh here? Because he steals, right? And he always always tries to escape, right, from the former employers or the people he robbed, right? So thief here admits that he has no friends, no family, and friends are more trouble than help, and this shows that how lonely his life has been, right? And he cannot stay in a hotel, obviously, right? And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. So this is the irony of the chapter. The person he has betrayed is actually the person he feels closest to. Right? This shows that how important Anil has become in his life. He has no one else in his life. Right? In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. So now he will tell that how different people react differently. Right? The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness. Not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. Right? So as a thief and as an experienced thief, he has this, he has observed like how different people react after being robbed, right? He says that greedy man would show fear, rich man showed anger, poor man showed acceptance, but I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness. So this is an interesting observation because thief had studied human behavior through his experience as a criminal, right? He understands that people respond to loss differently depending on their circumstances and depending on their personalities. And he knew that Anil's fate, that he will feel sad because he broke his trust. He will not feel sad about the money, but he will sad about the trust that I betrayed him. So he'll be eventually sad about the betrayal, but not for the loss of money, but the loss of trust, right? I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining, quiet, heavily. So now he was sitting on this bench in a garden and a park, obviously, and the night was chilly because it's like November, I guess. It was early November, yes, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort, right? So drizzle as in light rainfall. So rain started falling and it was not heavy rain, it's light rain. Soon it was raining quiet, heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Now, I think when he was sitting here in the park on the bench, he has this realization, right? He said that I found myself in the Maidan and I was sitting on the bench and rain started falling and wind blew the rain across my face, so that thing added to my discomfort and everything. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. Okay. So he went back to the bazaar and he sat down under that clock tower, and clock showed midnight, so it was like 12. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain, because he has tucked all these notes with the string of his pajama, right? So they were also wet. They were also damp. And Anil's money in the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it all. So Anil's money, this is not my money. This is Anil's money. And in the morning, he would probably have given. Now he's thinking about that what Anil would have done with the money next morning. So he's saying that he would have given me 2 to 3 rupees, right? So that I can go to the cinema. But now I had it all. So this shows the physical discomfort, the mental discomfort, the guilt. Right? I could not cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement, right, of the theft. Okay. So now he thinks that, now he realizes something like more important. If he had stayed with Anil might have given him 2 to 3 rupees to go to the cinema, and instead by stealing like these 600 rupees, he has gained a lot of money but lost something much more valuable. What was that? Opportunity. He can no longer cook for Anil, he can no longer run to the bazaar or learn to write all these whole sentences. So he cannot learn, he cannot live with him, he cannot learn to write. So this is beginning of the thief understanding the value of kindness. Right? He says that I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. I forgot about all these things. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more money. Oh my God, again the same realization that he had in the starting, that he could achieve much more if he knows how to write. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. So it's very easy to steal, and it's very easy that he can, be behind bars. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man was something else. I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to read or to learn or to write. So this is the central lesson of this chapter. Stealing can give quick money, as simple as that. But education can give you a future. And you all know that. And he also understands that stealing may look easy, but getting caught can be equally easy. Right? Yes or no? So he compares like he begins to compare like 2 possible futures. One future is stealing money and living in fear. Second one, learning, working honestly and becoming successful one day. Which one is better? Obviously, the second one is better, right? I told myself if only to learn and write. So I should go back to Anil. It doesn't matter he gives me money or not. He's giving me food, he's giving me shelter, and he's educating me. That is the most important thing right now in my life. And no one else will give me this opportunity ever again in my life, right? This is like one time opportunity. Not everyone in this world is like Anil. Right? Now we actually know what Hari Singh wants. He doesn't simply want money. He wants to become a clever, a respected person or human being of society. Like a really successful person. And he realizes that education can help him achieve this. Only education can help him achieve this. So he tells himself that he should go back, obviously, to Anil, if only to read and learn. This is like partly selfish. He wants to learn to read and write, but obviously it's a very big improvement, right? He's not thinking about stealing anymore. He's thinking about learning. So his life is changing here, right? I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So, now the thief decides over here to return the money, but he is very nervous because returning stolen money is actually much more difficult than stealing it, right? So when you steal, you try not to be caught. When you want to return something like secretly, you still have to make sure that the owner doesn't discover, right, what you have done. So this is also equally very difficult. So this also shows that thief has genuinely changed and he is willing to risk, right, like being caught, because he wants to correct all his mistakes and he wants education right now. So he returns the money. I awoke the late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. Okay, he stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50 rupee note. Between his fingers, my heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. Again, he felt guilty and he thought that Anil knows that I stole the money because I made some money, because the money was like, I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. So he said that I will pay you regularly, and yesterday I made some money and take these 50 rupees, right? So he was like, oh, okay, my spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. So basically this closeness, I think, made him like he was feeling guilty because of this closeness with Anil, right? He was like, he discovered that I stole the money, and actually he did know that he stole the money, right? He did know that he stole the money, like Hari Singh has stolen the money, because the notes were still wet from the night's rain. So that's it. That's the story. Today we will start writing sentences. He said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Very important part of the chapter. They ask so many times like question from this part. How are you feeling right now after reading this story? Tell me. So the real victory over here is that the thief gets a chance to become a better human being, and that is important. That is important. Anil knew that he stole the money, but he did not report him, right? He did not confront. Why? because he thought that he had already learnt a lesson. That's why he came back. That's why he returned the money. Right? Right? He already made the tea. He gave him 50 rupees. He did not say anything. And he says that we will start writing sentences and everything. This is interesting. Right? This is really interesting. Yes. So that's it. What do you think of this story? And what is the central idea of this story? Tell me. Tell me in the comment section, what is the central idea of this story? So here in the last part, he understands the thief's mistake, but he also understands that boy can change. Right? So instead of humiliating him, Anil gives him basically another chance. Right? So that he can be a different person. Yes. So now tell me, what is the central idea? Like, what are the important themes of this chapter? So first is education. First theme is education. Education is the most important theme of this chapter. Right? How? Thief realizes that learning to read can help him, right, change his entire life. Education gives the possibility of becoming an honest or a responsible person. Next theme is trust. Anil trusts the thief even though he barely knows him. He gives him the keys to his room and allows him to come and go like freely whenever he wants. Right? And this trust deeply affects the thief. Yes or no? Thief actually at the end finds it difficult, right, to steal or to rob Anil. Right? He returns the money. Third theme is kindness. Third is kindness. Even when the food is terrible, he eventually forgives him. He teaches him, he feeds him, he gives him shelter. He did not say anything, right, when he discovered the theft. He gives him another opportunity basically to be a different person instead of punishing, right? So yes, kindness, trust, education, and the last is transformation. The thief changes gradually. He did not change like, it took time to basically be a good person and everything. Okay, so that's it. That's the story. I wish and I hope that you liked today's session, and please do remember that we have this very important Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test, right, happening on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th and 11th October. Why you all should take this test? Why you should attempt? Why? Because this is the greatest opportunity. This is the best opportunity. This can be the best opportunity of your life. This is a very big test. Its name is Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test. We have the link in the description. And I think all these students should register for this test and they should take this test. Why am I saying this? Because the rewards are great. First thing first, rewards are great, and you will understand how to perform under pressure. Okay, you will feel the competition. You will be able to know your rank among 2.5 lakh test takers. Like, you'll be able to know where you stand among these 2.5 lakh students. You can get like scholarship on all Vedantu courses up to 100% of scholarship. Other than that, you can get 150 crore worth of scholarship. your rank like AIR among 2.5 lakh test takers, and cash prizes and rewards worth of 2 crore. So it's a great opportunity, right? It will give you confidence. What if you will become the winner, right? So I think you all should register for Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test right now and challenge yourself. This is an opportunity to challenge yourself and give it your best shot. That's it. So the link is in the description. Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test, a test that rewards your dreams. Okay, everyone. So I think that's it. Bye-bye from my side. All the very best. Take care. See you in the next class.